Hello and welcome again to this edition of Dealing with Brightspace. And today what I'm going to be doing is reflecting to you some methods that I came across as I was beginning my exploration of how to implement instructional design in Brightspace. And one of the things that I found out, and I've been saying this throughout the videos here, is that when you're creating quizzes, discussions, and assignments, and whatever you end up calling those, whenever you're using those three tools to create the things that you want students to deliver so you can monitor their learning, that when you go to the Assignments tab and you go to Quizzes, Assignments, and Discussions, when you create those things there, you have access to all of the tools to create the item, to assign grading, to set the due dates, to set the availability, all of that in there. So to create those there first is going to be the practice that I'm going to try and promote. So the title of this video is Order of Operations. So when we are creating our courses, ultimately what we want to get is a section in our contents where we direct students to contents. They go there and they see folders for each one of the significant areas of your course, whether it be modules or lessons or chapters in my case. So they see those. And if they click on the chapter, everything they need for that module or that learning is right there. The notes, any presentations, the quizzes, discussions, assignments are all together there. So essentially, if you think of this like a textbook, you have chapter 1, and everything for chapter 1 is in chapter 1. In chapter 2, everything for chapter 2 is in chapter 2. Now there's lots of ways and lots of orders to do that, but I'm going to recommend, and what I'm saying in this video is the order of operations are that you create all of your discussions, create all of your quizzes, and create all of your assignments first. Then you go into the content area and create the folders. And then you add those components inside of the folders. You can create assignments, discussions, and everything else inside of the folders right from there, but for some reason when you go into it that way, it doesn't give you all of the options for all of the settings and creating grades. Just something quirky about Brightspace, or at least the Brightspace that we're learning right now. So essentially you start designing your class by creating all of your assessments, all of your assignments, discussions, and quizzes. You create all of those, as many of them that you have, and then you go into the content area and you create the folders. Now the videos that I've done so far, I've created content folders, and I've created a chapter 1 discussion, chapter 1 quiz, and a chapter 1 assignment. And now I'm going to show you how it all comes together. So here we are in my Brightbox, in my sandbox in Brightspace, and under the assignments, you'll see that I have Chapter 1 assignment, and under discussions, I have Chapter 1 discussion, and under quizzes, I have Chapter 1 quiz. Now if I go to content now, this you'll see I created Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4. Now right now there's nothing in Chapter 1. I've just put welcome to chapter 1. I haven't edited any of these things. This is the chapter that I created in a previous video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a file from my computer called chapter 1 notes in my lecture, just as an example of kind of the stuff that you would put into chapter 1 folder. Then I'm going to put the discussion, and then the quiz, and then the assignment, and you'll see how this all looks when it's all in the same folder. So first I'm going to upload, create. I'm going to use that button, and I'm going to select upload file. I select my computer, select the upload button. You can also drag and drop it right in there. Upload, and then I'm going to navigate to a file that I prepared, Chapter 1 lecture notes. Now this is a PDF. Now if you're uploading documents, it's highly recommended that you stick with PDFs. And the reason for that is numerous. PDFs can be read on just about any device, including public access devices like at libraries and whatnot, so that people have minimal barriers to accessing your file. PDF also comes with the technology built in for readers and for enlarging the text and whatnot for people with disabilities. You can post Word files, but I convert everything into PDF. And if you don't have Microsoft Word, you're using Apple's Pages, or you're using any other word processing, you can still convert those into PDF, and we can all get along. And isn't that a great thing? Just use PDFs for whenever you're posting these kinds of things. So here I am. I've selected my Chapter 1 lecture notes. I press open. The file is right there. I add it, and there's my Chapter 1 lecture notes. At this point, I went and got that file off my computer, and it uploaded into Brightspace and placed a link for it right in my Chapter 1 folder. Now, the other things, the discussions, quizzes, and assignments, are already created in Brightspace. So in order to access things I've already created, I go to Existing Activities, and I click that. And I'm going to go after my discussions first, so I select Discussions. It has the forum first, so I click Graded Discussions and then Chapter 1 Discussion, and there it is, and with the text and everything already built in. Now the next thing I want to do is the quizzes, so I'm going to look for quizzes here. As you can see, all kinds of things that I can put in there. Quizzes, I'm going to take Chapter 1 quiz, put it in there, and then finally I'm going to do the assignment. And there's my Chapter 1 assignment. Now what you see here now, this folder is no longer empty. It has my notes, it has the discussion, it has the quiz, and it has the assignment. So and you'll see over here too, that little square indicates how many things are in there. So now the student will see Chapter 1, there's 4 things in it, and they'll be able to go to those things. So let's take a look at how this looks as from the student's perspective. The student logs into the class. We tell them to go over to Content. There's Chapter 1. They can click on the notes. They can participate in the discussion. They have the quiz and the assignment. And they already have kind of a to-do list bar going across that tells them when they've done all of these things. So here's Chapter 1. It has 4 things in it, and these are the 4 things. So this provides you with that kind of structure in your class. However you want to organize the folders, that's really just creative and really has a lot to do with how you teach your class. So create your discussions, create your quizzes, create your assignments, then go in and create your folders, and then drop everything into those folders. I did that for my Introduction to Psychology class. Of course, it was already pretty much designed for online learning. So I created all of the assessments, all the quizzes, discussions, and assignments, created the folders. And for 15 chapters, it took me about 10 minutes to build the whole thing out. It was just, doing those pull downs. So it makes for some really fast design. The work goes into the developing of your notes, quizzes, discussions, and assignments. So order of operations, create all of your assessments first, the quizzes, discussions, and assignments, then create your folders, and then within the folders, add those components as you see they need to go. Hope that's helpful, and go have some fun in Brightspace.